In this video, we will look at the challenges in terms of electricity generation for an all-electric car nation. There has been a huge increase in the sales of electric cars in recent years. Nearly every manufacturer has planned one or more electric car models, with some planning an all-electric fleet by just 2030. This huge increase in the number of electric vehicles will strain the electric grid. Keep watching to find out what the impact will be and what you can do to prepare for the future. The current leader in this segment is Tesla, which leads other manufacturers by a huge margin. While electric vehicles run smoother, cleaner, and need less maintenance, they still have a long way to go in terms of the number of cars sold before they can catch up to gas or diesel-powered vehicles. As of 2020, the US has about 1.7 million fully electric cars versus 275 million gas or diesel-powered cars. The infrastructure supports these numbers in terms of the amount of charging stations versus fuel availability. But what if all cars are electrified? Is there even enough electricity to power all these cars and also run your homes and offices? Let's find out. On average, each car in the United States is driven for 13,500 miles annually. Using the official efficiency figures for a Tesla Model 3 long range, the EPA range is 25 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. So, on a yearly basis, 3,375 kilowatt hours is required to cover the mileage for a year. Using the electricity generation and consumption numbers from the EIA for December 2020, a total of 3.717 trillion kilowatts of electricity was consumed in the 2020 year. Now, if all cars are converted to electric, an additional 0.928 trillion kilowatt hours of electricity would be consumed to charge and run these vehicles for just 1 year, assuming an average usage of 13,500 miles. This is a massive 25% increase over the current consumption. About 8 to 10% of power generated at the source is lost during transmission before it ends up at your home or office. So the net power that will need to be generated to power all cars by electricity alone will be an additional 1 trillion kilowatt hours. Obviously, this is a substantial increase in the power generation capacity to keep all our cars, homes, and offices humming with power. If you're liking this video so far, consider hitting that like and subscribe button down below. To put this into perspective, an additional 254 nuclear power plants the size of the Palo Verde nuclear plant, the largest nuclear plant in the US, will be needed, or 507 natural gas-fired plants the size of West County Energy Center, Florida. Alternatively, 250 Hoover dams would also be needed. For now, this is still a hypothetical situation, but in just a few decades, when this becomes a reality, will the world be ready? By 2040, there will be an additional 50 million new cars on the road, and most of the existing passenger vehicles will have been converted to electric. A majority of the car companies have committed to electrifying their fleet in just a few years by 2030. In addition to passenger car vehicles, trucks and buses are also entering the electrification race. No doubt there will be significant improvements to battery technologies and efficiency in power utilization, but that won't be enough to meet the shortfall of a net increase in power requirements. There are also some vehicles, like the cars from Aptera and Scion, which are expected to run on solar energy alone. These cars would be major game changers if they make it to mass production and they find a good market in the United States. Governments and car companies today are too focused on charging infrastructure, but not enough priority is provided to generation capacity. Power plants already take a long time to construct, and now several US nuclear power plants are expected to retire in the next few years. The drought in the US West also threatens hydropower generation of some key dams. This would lead to a significant shortage in the generation to consumption ratio. Without adequate power infrastructure in place, there could be mass blackouts and rates of electricity will go through the roof. People may even have to end up making a choice between commuting or using the AC. While the solution is still to build more massive power plants, such as hydro, nuclear, wind, etc., you can still do your part by encouraging your community and cities to start their own local solar generation by using rooftop solar or covering parking lots with solar cells. Car manufacturers should also do their part by providing electricity storage know-how to cities and public utilities. Electrification is the way forward, but we need to take steps today to prepare for a green and sustainable future. Feel free to comment below on your ideas and thoughts on how to better prepare for a world where gas vehicles are obsolete and electric ones have taken over.